Alright, so this right here is the top of my violin. At least it's in the process of being the top of the violin. It's currently in the rough arching phase. So basically, you can kind of see there's still lots of marks in it. Basic stuff like that. I've currently done this side of it. I have not done the right hand side of the instrument, but I think I'm going to start right here for today. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do is grab some of my chisels. So today I'll be using 2 of my chisels, which are right here. So I've got a more flat-sided blade. It's angled, but flat if you were to look at it straight on. And then I've got my gouge, which you can kind of see curves like this, like a U shape almost. There you go. And so this is good for removing lots of material at once, like this. And here's a whole chunk. And the other not gouge, but the other chisel is good for just... Now, it sometimes can remove the same amount of material. It's sometimes even more. I mean, look at these. This was the one from the straight, flat-bladed one, and this was the gouge. So you can kind of see it did kind of remove more, but it has problems going, like, in the corner here. Or not the corner, but, you know, it's rounded here, and so it has problems getting in and digging really into it to make, like, a decrease in the height of the wood. This is better for that, which is kind of where all of these come in. So you can kind of see on the left-hand side here, let me see if I can zoom in on it. But you can see on the left-hand side here, there's all these grooves, and this is from this one, the gouge. The left-hand side of the instrument, you can see it's much more flat, and now I understand there's still some, there's still some mistakes here, and it's not super smooth. But right here, it's a lot more flat, and that's because I took this flat blade, and I've basically just kind of ran it along the edge here, oh so carefully, and just made it flat. So a good example of that is I'm going to do it right now for you. And so basically I'm just going to go... And you can kind of see that right here, I've already made it a little bit more flat compared to this is what it originally looked like. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, something that's important to note is that I have these little things. They're called arching templates. And so what I do with them is, if I zoom out a little bit for you. So right here I have these markings, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And so basically, I just line them up. Oh, sorry, wrong way. I line them up along the instrument here. And it's a little bit hard to tell, but if I take my phone here, or not a super great demonstration, but you can see that it lines up not perfectly. There's still a gap in the middle. But I wanted to take all of this material off, which is specifically be right here to the left, and then the right towards right here. That would, I'd want to use finger planes for that, because the finger planes will remove less material, ensuring that I don't remove too much material, and in that case it'd be ruined. So if I do the opposite, so I'll just flip it over right here, yep, you can see that it doesn't, once I zoom in, yep, there you go, and you can see that it doesn't even line up. Like, looking at it, you can see clearly that it goes up, like it's not flat or whatsoever. And that's because right here where my finger is, there's way too much material. So I have to remove the material so that way, right about here, so that way this can sink down into the wood farther is the best way I can explain it. And then once I do that, I'll be able to start smoothing out the rest of this area. So all this right here is way too much wood. So I have to cut this down probably by several millimeters, and then maybe a little bit right here along the edge, and then probably some right here too, which is what I did on the other side. So I'm not too surprised. But yeah, and I've got other templates. So like if I grab this one, and right here, you can see that similar thing with the last one. In the middle, there's still some space, but on the left and right-hand sides, I've got a little bit too much material, but again, I'm going to wait for finger planes so I don't remove too much material, because I don't know, I only need to remove just a little bit, not even a millimeter, I don't think. But if I do it on this side where I haven't worked on it yet, you can see the drastic change in how flat this is. This is how it should be. So you can see on the right hand side, right here where it touches against the wood, there's way too much material there. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be getting rid of today. So when doing this, I just want to make sure that I've got my clamp so that way I can hold it down. Now I did experiment before I recorded it. I've experimented with putting this blanket down so that way it has a little bit more friction against the table. So I'm just going to put it down right here and hold it. Right now, there. All right, perfect. So this will make it a lot more solid to be able to just go like, oh, wrong one, like this. And you can see I've removed this material right here. And so this is the kind of stuff that I don't want, so I'll just kind of throw it over here into my pile on the floor. We'll clean that up later. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start carving. Okay, let me grab my template, this one, and I'll go ahead and start. So right here, what I'll do is I'll get a pencil, just a pencil I have. It's got bugs on it. And so basically what I'm going to do is, I got this, and I'm going to look it down at head on, and I can see, oh, this is where it's touching the wood. And so I'm holding it relatively flat right now, and that's okay. Later down the line, I'll use a level, wherever it went. I'll get it later. And then that way I can make sure it's perfect. But right now, this is just rough estimation. I can see visually that it's not right at all here. So yeah, so then what I'll do is I'll get this gouge, and I'll literally just go like this. And I purposely, this time, am trying to remove a lot of material, so that way I can actually limit the amount of times that I do that, because I know there's a lot of material here that needs to be removed. And I'll do slower increments later down the line when I start getting closer to my goal in terms of thickness. But again, that's not something I'm quite worrying about right now, so that's not a problem. And so what I'll do is I'll swap chisels, this one right here, and I'll just go like this. And if it gets stuck, like right now you can see that it's like, oh, it got stuck in the wood, it's dug too much down. That's not a problem, because I know that, again, there's plenty of material to remove right now, here right now. I've already measured it, so I can just give it a little extra push. Maybe on harder woods, this wouldn't be ideal to do in terms of, because you might make the blade dull. Not quite sure, because since this is my first time doing it, again, I'm no expert. So I'll just give it a little push. This I'm using, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Basswood or Basswood, I think it's one of the two. It's very, very soft, and I don't know how it's going to sound in terms of being an instrument, but that's not exactly my concern. I just kind of want to, practice carving with it before I get actual spruce or sometimes maple if I'm doing the back. I'm not today. I will do that another day. But I don't want to get super expensive wood. This whole chunk was like $5, so just a piece of scrap wood we found at a store. And so yeah, it might sound horrendous, but that shouldn't be a problem, because I'm just practicing, and so it's not really a concern I have. But anyway, so let's take a template, and after just removing that material, I'm going to guess that not much changed. Yeah, not much changed. But what it did do is it's a little bit lower now. So the material I removed last time was probably about like right here where this circle is, but now the material's right here. So I removed the material that was tall here, and so now this right here is the next set of material that needs to be removed. And so, again, I'm just going to take the gouge and I'm going to go like this. Alright, so I've just removed all of this material. So let's just go ahead and see. Oh, that's the wrong side. Let's see what is up again. So currently, looks like it's going back. It's right about, oh, well, not this part, but right here, you can still see what I was trying to talk about. So again, material, still too much here. I'm going to take the gouge, and I'm just going to gouge it again. Didn't mean to kick the camera. And again, I don't just want to do this one part. I want to try and smooth it out towards the top of the instrument, which is right here. So that way, it's even across the whole thing. Otherwise, that would be not great. Remove some here too. But the gouging is done, at least for now. I'm going to take the blade and I'm just going to take it across the wood, remove large chunks, and get rid of these peaks, whatever the tallest part of the wood is. I don't know, I'm going to call it a peak. But overall, it'll make it more smooth. And then in turn, removing a lot of the material that I need to remove because there's still so much there. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll be back later when I make more significant progress, probably. So, I just removed all of this material. Just get rid of some of it so I have some space. And so right here, I've got, looking at it head on, almost, you see it's relatively even on both sides, which is what I wanted. And then from a side view. So yeah, I've removed enough material right here. Almost perfect. Again, we'll need finger planes for that. I'm about to start the second dot here, which is arching template 2. It's this one right here. So it's basically going to line up right here. And on the left side, well, there's a big gap, but that's all right. And on the right side, it doesn't even go on. So yeah, I'm gonna fix that. But yeah, so I'll do that on my own. It's fine. It's the same process, so there's no real need to keep filming for it. There'll be one more thing I do actually before I end. So let me get that ready. So I have this pair of, I mean, really it's kind of just crude, but I've got this pair of calipers that have these elongated bits to reach towards like the center of the instrument right here, because, you know, I can't reach that with this pair, which is smaller but more accurate. This one, this blue one, it's not accurate. It's off by like about a whole millimeter and under, but it's good for rough estimates. So what I've done, not recently, probably a few days ago now, is I've created, on this extra piece of wood I've created this blueprint. And so basically, I've got the archings and then measured how many millimeters tall they should be from the base. So this base right here is the base edge of the plate is about 4.15 millimeters thick on all sides, which would be right here. And so then I've got these dots correspond to the dots on here. Except this is from a side view. So I know that this is dot 1 and this is dot 1 right here. So this should be 12.90 millimeters tall. So this is the moment of truth. Now if I've done, if I've removed too much material and it's under 12 millimeters thick, that's all right. Let me go ahead and zero it. Again, I'm just learning, first time making a violin plate. I won't be too upset. But it is currently sitting at exactly 15 millimeters. I could push in. I don't want to push in too hard because if I start doing that, then they start bending. And so it's not 7 millimeters thick. So what I want to do is I just want to put it right on this dot and then gently go until it stops. And so you can see that this time it measured 14.83. Again, it's slightly off, but I know that it's not 12.90 millimeters thick. It's still 1 to potentially 3 millimeters over. However, the issue is, let me find it again. I already lost it underneath this piece of wood. Here it is that this piece, we can see if I put it on like this, we can see visually that if I put this on, this matches up, right? So the thing is that if this matches up and I remove more material right here, well, then it's not going to match up. And instead, it's going to sink like this. And we don't want that. So that means that I need to equally shave off 1 or 2 millimeters across the whole thing. So again, this is 4.15 millimeters. But what's happening, I think at least, is that the wood itself is tall. So basically it gets tall too early and too soon compared to what it should. Sorry, let me move this. This is bugging me. And so I'll have to shave it off equally so that I still keep this same arch. The way that I know best to do that, again, it's finger planes. So I don't have finger planes. So what that means for this is that I'm going to just leave it how it is. It's a good, comfortable height for me. And it's to leave room for sanding and planing and stuff like that before it turns into the actual top. Again, this is all rough arching, so none of this is going to be perfect anyway. I know when I measured 2 right here, this was like a whole gap right here. I know it's wrong. It's going to be wrong. It's not necessarily maybe the point, but it's all right to have in its current state. And again, I haven't done the bottom yet, so that I might do the bottom in another video or maybe even in a live stream if you guys care enough. I don't know. I kind of just wanted to show my process for, making violins. I love playing the violin. I've done a solo, it's kind of fun. I've done a solo late in 2024, and then I did a solo last week for some judges and got an outstanding rating. So, I've been practicing a lot. I've been playing for 3 years, and I love violins, and so I've decided to invest my time in making them. I'm still playing the instrument, obviously, and I'll make more videos and covers of some classical music and pop music and modern music in the future as I go about this, but also my other violin career, if you want to put it that way. So, that's my process for which I go about doing things. I'll go ahead and just tidy some of this up before I edit this video. So yeah, I guess thank you for watching, and I'll update you this in the future.